Have you ever wondered what secrets lie wrapped within an ancient Egyptian mummy? For thousands of years, the Egyptians perfected the art of mummification, a sacred process they believed was essential for the journey to the afterlife. But how exactly did they do it? It's a story far more complex and fascinating than you might imagine. Let's unwrap the mysteries of this incredible ancient practice. The first step was, well, a bit grisly. After a person died, their body was taken to a special tent called the ibu, or the place of purification. Here, the embalmers would wash the body with palm wine and water from the Nile. Then came the most delicate part, removing the internal organs. They made a small incision on the left side of the abdomen to take out the liver, lungs, stomach, and intestines. Each organ was individually preserved and placed in special containers called canopic jars, each guarded by one of the four sons of Horus. But what about the brain? The Egyptians didn't think it was important. They used a long, hooked instrument inserted through the nose to, literally, pull the brain out piece by piece. It sounds brutal, but to them, the heart was the center of intelligence and emotion, so it was the only major organ left inside the body. The heart was seen as the key to the afterlife, as it would be weighed against the feather of Mat, the goddess of truth and justice, during the final judgment. With the organs removed, the real preservation began. The body was stuffed and covered with a special type of salt called natron. This natural salt, found in the dry riverbeds of Egypt, was a powerful dehydrating agent. For a full 40 days, the body would rest in natron, which drew out all the moisture and prevented decomposition. This is the crucial step that turned a perishable body into a lasting mummy. It's amazing how they mastered this chemical process without modern science. After the 40 days were up, the body was completely dried out and much lighter. The embalmers would then wash it again and rub it with sacred oils to make the skin more supple and give it a pleasant scent. They used resins and other materials to fill the body cavity, giving it a more lifelike shape. Sometimes, they even placed artificial eyes made of stone or glass into the eye sockets and applied makeup to the face, all to make the deceased look as they did in life. This wasn't just about appearance, it was about ensuring the soul, or Ka, would recognize its body in the afterlife. Now for the final and most iconic stage, wrapping. This was a meticulous, ritualistic process that could take up to 15 days. The body was wrapped in hundreds of yards of linen bandages. Embalmers would start with the head and neck, then wrap each finger and toe individually before moving on to the limbs and torso. Between the layers of linen, they would place magical amulets and charms to protect the deceased on their perilous journey through the underworld. The famous scarab beetle amulet, for instance, was often placed over the heart as they wrapped. Priests would recite spells and prayers from the Book of the Dead, a collection of texts intended to guide the deceased. Finally, a shroud was placed over the entire wrapped body, and it was secured with more linen strips. A painted portrait mask, sometimes made of solid gold like Tutankhamun's, was placed over the head and shoulders. The completed mummy was then placed in its coffin, or a series of coffins, ready for the funeral procession and entombment. This elaborate, 70-day ritual shows just how deeply the ancient Egyptians believed in life after death. Mummification wasn't just a physical preservation, it was a spiritual transformation, a way of ensuring eternal life among the gods.